So hello friends, in this short video, I will be discussing everything you need in your bladder pharmacology to remember, starting from the muscarinic to the adrenergic, to the adrenergic. So I will be putting some anatomical correlation with it. Okay. So if I draw bladder for you, which color should I use? Should I use this color? Yeah, watercolor, isn't it? So if I draw bladder, this is the bladder. And in this bladder, I think the bladder got a deviation, isn't it? Should make it like this. Okay. Now this bladder, you are seeing this trigon. This is the trigon of the bladder. First, let us make an anatomical description. And with it, you are able to appreciate. Which color to take. Pink. Okay, pink. I take a pink color and you see I am attaching here some at the neck of the bladder. Below, a little bit below the neck of the bladder at this urethra point. I am having a sphincter. This sphincter is called external urethral sphincter. This sphincter is a voluntary sphincter. That's where you are controlling your urine. While you are in class right now, you are controlling the external urethric sphincter. Then there should be a sphincter which should have drawn it a bit larger. Isn't it? So let me take it like this. So okay, this is okay. Now here the sphincter is. Let me change the color. The sphincter is internal urethral sphincter. Here you have internal urethral sphincter. Internal urethral sphincter. Now this is an involuntary sphincter. Okay. Now this external one is the place where you are controlling your urination voluntarily. Now I have taught you some receptors. The receptors are, I have here, which nerve is supplying this place? The nerve supply is pelvic nerve. The nerve supply is pelvic nerve. Pelvic nerve is a parasympathetic. P for pelvic, P for parasympathetic. It is a parasympathetic nerve. Okay, so it will be sending parasympathetic impulses from the central nervous system. This nerve, this region is supplied by which nerve? This is supplied by, let me take a red color. This is supplied by sympathetic. This is supplied by sympathetic, guys. This is a sympathetic. Which nerve is this? Hypogastric, guys. Hypogastric. I hope you remember the anatomy. It's so important to learn anatomy. Without that, you can't do anything. So it is the hypogastric nerve, which is a sympathetic nerve. That hypogastric is also giving a division to this. Definitely it should give, sir, because it should know at least that I'm having a sympathetic activity. Now this nerve, who is supplying the external urethral sphincter? I hope you have forgot, okay? I hope you haven't read this. You don't focus these things in your med school first year. So it is pudendal. What? Pudendal nerve. What now? Pudendal. So pudendal nerve. Pudendal. Okay, let me write in capital for you. Pudendal. Now pudendal nerve is containing what type of receptor? What receptor? Let us write some receptors first. Let me take this color. So what receptors are present on your bladder? Which muscarinic receptors you have on bladder? M3. I have taught you, isn't it? M3 receptors on the bladder. Which receptor? Same nicotinic receptors are here. So I have nicotinic receptor है. At this place, which receptor we have adrenergic? We have alpha 1 adrenergic receptor. At the this sphincter, alpha 1, alpha 1, alpha 1, alpha 1, alpha 1. Okay, alpha 1. What we have, what else receptor we have here? This is beta 3. This is beta 3. Beta 3 on the bladder, alpha 1 on the internal urethral sphincter. Okay. M3 on the bladder also. But M3, it's an M3 type. Now, what is happening is your CNS, that is the pons. In the pons, you have an involuntary center, involuntary bladder center. Okay. That involuntary bladder center, I am now connecting it to neurology. So in the pons you have, the pons is the center which will P. I remember it like P. Okay. So pons is related to P, micturition. Your pons. It has those, all the orchestrations between sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems are happening. That means when you have more of the, if you stimulate, remember first thing, if you stimulate sympathetic outflow, if you give more of the sympathetic outflow to the bladder, what will happen? So yeah, let us make it like this. Sympathetic outflow, yes. That means I'm in emergency, yes. That means I should urinate, no. That means I should keep the urine. That means I should retain the urine. So I say urinary retention will happen. I have taught you in sympathetic nervous system. Urinary retention. I hope it's clear. Opposite will happen if I stimulate the parasympathetic system. That means parasympathetic, that means yes, comfortable, yes, sitting at home, yes, no exam, yes, no exam, yes, okay, no exam, yes, comfortable, yes, no tension, yes, everything fine, yes. That means I will void the urine, micturition or urine voiding. I will void the urine. Okay. Now game starts. So I told you the normal things. Now see how I will integrate it. So directly go to the clouds, to the sky. See the magic. The magic is, if you stimulate this M3 receptor, what will happen? Dash. M3 is a muscarinic receptor. M3 is which type of receptor? M3 is which receptor? Normally what you were doing, you were stimulating the M3. When you stimulate the M3, what will happen? You are GQ. That's a beautiful answer. That's a GQ coupled. It's a GQ, kick, QIQ, M1, M2, M3. That's how I told you to remember. I gave you every mnemonic, but you are not using it. So M3 receptor, when you are stimulating the M3 receptor, this M3 receptor will actually tell this detrusor muscle, it will tell him to please contract, please pass the urine, please pass the urine. But when I am inhibiting this receptor, when I am giving a blocker, what will happen? I will actually do the relaxation of the detrusor. What is the muscle which is supplying the bladder? Detrusor muscle. What is the muscle supplying the bladder? That is detrusor. Detrusor is, it is around this. So detrusor will get stimulated and it will tell, no, it will not get stimulated. Once you are giving an M3 blocker, it will tell the bladder, please relax. Bladder is relaxing. What will happen? You are decreasing the function of detrusor smooth muscle. You are decreasing the detrusor overactivity. You are decreasing the detrusor. That's why in patients who have a condition called, the condition is called urgency, or we call it urge incontinence. Urge incontinence. I have taught you everything about urgency and everything. Go to that video what is the name of the video, by the way, where I have taught every definition of urology. What is the video? E. coli. I have taught this in the microbiology, E. coli. Go there. I have taught everything. What is the difference between everything? I have interrelated the concepts with surgery. Now, urge incontinence. Now the person is having urge. That is, he is going to washroom again and again. Should I retain his urine or produce more urine? I should retain his urine. So should I give M3 agonist or M3 antagonist? Should I give M3 agonist or antagonist? Should I give M3 agonist or M3 blocker? I should give M3 blocker. What will happen while giving the M3 blocker? It will actually relax the detrusor smooth muscle. It will decrease the detrusor overactivity. That means I am going to treat the urge incontinence. That's why we give for this condition. The patient who is going to urge, he's going to washroom again and again, showing that symptom. We give him M3 blocker. What is the M3 blocker? Please write it here. What is the M3 blocker which blocks this M3? It is oxybutinin. Oxybutinin. So I give oxybutinin to this patient and his bladder will relax. That means his urge incontinence will be reversed. Isn't it? See how beautifully these drugs are working. Okay. No. Look at me. If I stimulate this M3, I'm giving you every example here, guys. If you focus with me, life will become easy. That's why I told you to remove everything from your brain. Learn this concept in fresh. Learn this concept with fresh brain. Now see, guys, if this was about inhibition, if I give stimulation of this M3, what will happen? M3 will stimulate. M3 will stimulate. That is, the detrusor muscles will come into action. What is the function of detrusor muscle? It contracts the bladder. So if you have more contraction of the bladder, what will happen? You are emptying the bladder. That means giving the M3 actually causes voiding of urine. Emptying the bladder. Very nice. You can speak in any language, constriction, everything, whatever. But yeah, you should remember what you are constricting. Don't constrict the urinary, in this internal sphincter. Okay, don't constrict it. Otherwise, the person will land into something else. Okay, yeah. So emptying the bladder. Can I say in patients who have post-surgical or the patients who have bladder dysfunction, bladder is not contracting, bladder is retaining. Can I say I can use this drug, this M3 agonist, in patients of urinary retention? The patients in urinary retention. Very nice. Urinary retention. So in patients of urinary retention, I am giving this M3 agonist. So what is the M3 agonist I can give? M3 agonist. What is the M3 agonist? It is bethanicol. B for bladder, B for bethanicol. Bethanicol, guys. Bethanicol. B for bladder, B for bethanicol. I have taught you last time, isn't it? It's already in the videos. You can check that first day of the video in autonomic. I have taught you how to remember even. I have made the life easy. Okay. Now this is the condition. Now, in patients who have urge incontinence, I have another drug which is working by a different mechanism. That is the beta 3. That is the beta 3. Where is beta 3, sir? This is the beta 3. Oh, it is on the bladder. Yes, sir, it is on the bladder. Beta 3, yes, sir. Beta 3, if I stimulate, what happens? This should be the first concept. Beta 3 stimulation leads to detrusor smooth muscle relaxation. You will have a relaxation of bladder. Can I use this in patients with incontinence? Because you are actually increasing the bladder capacity. You should remember, you are increasing the bladder capacity by the use of beta 3 agonist. So if I stimulate this, if I stimulate beta 3, what will happen? I will be relaxing. So I will be relaxing. So relaxation of bladder will happen. If bladder is relaxing, yes, it's a very good thing that if a patient is already having, he is going to urine again and again. He was having what? Urge incontinence. He was throwing the urine again and again. So should I retain it or not? Yes, sir, I should retain. So the best way is to retain the urine. So what is the drug which is acting by other mechanism? Beta 3, it's mirabegron. Important drug has been asked 5 times in entrance exam. Mirabegron. So beta 3 stimulation, mirabegron. Okay, friends, are we able to understand? Now I told you something about the tamsulosin. You know, at the neck of the bladder, you have a prostate also. Here, guys. You have prostate. Prostate is also there. It feels like a marble at home, isn't it? This color is like marble at your home, isn't it? Sometimes your counter or something like that. When you are building, so this is having what? This is having this is all having here alpha 1 receptors. Okay, alpha 1 receptors. So at the neck of the bladder, Now you tell me, when I stimulate the alpha-1, what happens? Dash. Alpha-1 stimulation causes dash. Guys, alpha-1 stimulation causes dash. Constriction or dilation? Constriction. Will you give the drug in patients alpha-1 agonist, SLEC2? If I had a SLEC2 alpha-1 at home, can I give in patients of benign prostate hyperplasia? Can I give an alpha-1 agonist? The question is, can I give alpha-1 agonist in patients of benign prostate hyperplasia? Never, guys. It is contraindicated. How can you give? We can't give. Very nice answer. Beautifully people are answering. If I give alpha-1 agonist, what will happen? It will constrict again. Since in benign prostate hyperplasia, you saw it was already narrowing this cavity. It was already narrowing this region. This region was already narrowed. Okay. So should I now give alpha-1 blocker or alpha-1 agonist? I will give alpha-1 blocker. If I give alpha-1 blocker, what will happen? Alpha-1 blocker, alpha-1 blocker. What will happen? I will be relaxing the bladder neck relaxation, bladder neck muscle relaxation, prostate also relaxed. Will you cause increased flow of urine or decreased flow? Will you cause increased flow? Will you increase the path? Will you make the path smooth for the flow or less? You will make the path smooth. Path is smooth. This is the drug which you are using, alpha blocker, that is tamsulosin. That's why I told you to select you for tamsulosin. That's why in patients of benign prostate hyperplasia, we are giving tamsulosin is the drug. This is every bladder pharmacology, what you need in your entrance exam. I hope you have enjoyed this topic. Subscribe to this channel for further videos which are coming up in series. So keep enjoying pharmacology, fall in love with pharmacology. Take care and see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.